and his friend came to assist him. The bazooka guy raises him asking, "Master, are you okay?" He says that he's fine but asks why they are here. His friend tells that Bai Qingfeng was worried about him and said he was going to follow you. That's why they were here. Just to save him in case he was in danger. Angry Lushoka says, "You said you were just coming to take a look. Why did you get into a ranker's dungeon? Good thing that Bai Qingfeng told us to follow you." At the moment Lin Feng was in disbelief, so the one that is killing all those pieces is Bai Qingfeng, standing there alone. After the fight, a bunch of souls started to roam around our demon king. They were the souls of the hunter that were killed by the chess pieces. Funny enough, they were thanking him for saving them, without knowing that he was the demon king. The souls gave him the rare material, purification crystal, upon seeing that Lin Feng thought that this was the worst possible scenario. The demon king noticed how much he was looking at the crystal and understood that this was probably his intention this whole time. So he asked, "Do you want it?" "Too bad, because it's mine now." He's thinking, although I don't know his goal. If it's an item that he wants, it probably has a use for something. The big guy says, "Master, we were lucky to have Qingfeng here. It's good that we always work as a team with him." Lin Feng knew that he couldn't claim the crystal from our villain. It would be ridiculous to be saved and also ask for the item, with the size of his ego that was out of question. So he suddenly shouted to everyone, "I don't need you guys. Don't worry about me." And then he ran to grab the next items. Even without the crystal he could make a semi-finished potion that could also work. But looking at him so desperate, our demon said, "The more you try to hide, the more you reveal your motives. That I'll keep an eye on what you're planning to do." Then we see the ranker's dungeon, Dry Bones Lake, and our demon is there again with the item in his hands. Oops. What's up, Lin Feng? We meet again. How are you? He just got the 3-flame pill. Lin Feng was losing his mind. It's you again. Once more the dungeon changed, but the result was the same. While Lin Feng was crying, our protagonist got the bone dragon scale. And again, he was shouting when his friend told him that if it wasn't Bai Qingfeng, he would be already dead. Looking at those items, the demon king was confused. Those might be rare and valuable, but he doesn't look like someone short on money. What does he need these items for? Lushoka went to talk with Qingfeng when he noticed the items in his hands. He instantly recognized that those were the rare materials that he had been searching for his whole life. He asked our demon if he could take a look at those items. Our protagonist raised his hands and suddenly the items started to refine by themselves. And after everything was combined, as class purification potion appeared. The demon king was just staring while Lushoka was trembling with tears in his eyes, saying, "That's really the legendary S-class purification potion. I asked every high-class alchemists, but none of them were able to make it." Our villain asked him, "Do you really need it?" "So take it then, cause I have no use for it." Lushoka was sweating. He couldn't believe it. "Is this for real? You're just going to give it to me? Just like that?" Lushoka knew with this he would be able to completely purify the poison that has accumulated in his body over all these years. The demon was surprised when he saw Lushoka hugging his leg, telling him how much of a good person he was, in that from today and he would be his most loyal follower. The demon king didn't know how to react. "Get away from me. Why are you so passionate when it's just a S-class potion?" Lushoka's love was unstoppable. Seeing that the king didn't even ask for money, he was sure that Qingfeng was the most selfless person that he had ever met. Lin Feng, seeing everything from afar, was consumed by anger. Bai Qingfeng just did exactly what he wanted and got Lushoka as his loyal dog. Our villain noticed that hatred towards him. Why does Lin Feng is looking so angry at me? Also, why the materials that he was looking for were the exact ones to make the potion that Lushoka wanted. That's when everything clicked for him. He was trying to win Lushoka over to his side, but I beat him without even knowing. This is plausible, but how did he know the locations of the items? This, together with the fact that he knew that Bai Qingfeng was dead, makes everything more suspicious. I will need to wait until he brings back the item. Lin Feng tried to keep his composure and told everyone to go back and rest. But inside he was about to burst. Bai Chifeng, you have been running my plans and I can't let that happen anymore. Sometime later in the hotel, Lin Feng had asked the bazooka guy to his room and bluntly told him go kill Bai Chifeng. The guy was taken aback, but Mr. Bai saved you a few times and he's a good person. Lin Feng responded. Just follow my instructions and don't ask too much. You have been by my side since I was young. Aren't you my most loyal servant? Sweating, he responded. Chifeng power is unfathomable. I'm sure that I'm not an opponent for him, but Lin Feng told him. Can you use a forbidden technique to temporarily raise yourself to the legendary SS class for a short period? The guy begged him, saying that this technique would cost years of his lifespan. He thought that the young master saw him as a member of the family. Lin Feng replied, don't you know I'm going to be the hero who obtains the sealing item? I'm carrying humanity's future on my back. Shouldn't you make a little sacrifice for humanity's future? The guy was about to say something when he forfeited and said that he understood, saying, I am willing to make that sacrifice not for humanity but to fulfill the oath I swore to you. Lin Feng thought that all of that was just nonsense. Our protagonist was in the town's garden facing a fountain when the water in front of him was moving in a strange way. Suddenly an ice crystal was launched against him. He was able to dodge but was uncertain of who was trying to assassinate him. Instantly a tempest of ice shards was launched. He knew that to freeze a whole pond and a second the person would need to be an SS class, and he doesn't remember to had offended someone of that caliber. The ice spell went straight to him and it looked like he was killed in an instant. The bazooka guy appeared. With red eyes, he was under the effect of the SS class forbidden technique consuming lifespan. But he heard something behind him, and when he looked, Bai Chifeng was there with a single scratch in his face. But that was enough to put him in frenesis, saying, how amazing, you are the first human to have ever injured me. They stared at each other for a second, but the Demon King said, yeah, you are the first one to ever hurt me, but you can only go so far. He had lost 1 health point from his 10 billion. The bazooka guy told him that out of respect he would kill him in 1 strike so he doesn't suffer too much. Bleeding, he replied, sure, I want to have a look at an SS class expert. But in a flash the blood that dropped from his face turned into a blade and almost cut his face. And he knew something. If even his blood that just leaked was frozen, that means. He grabs his chest knowing that everything inside him is about to stop. The guy told him that he was able to control all kinds of liquid, including the blood inside a human's body. But he noticed that Chifeng blood was different. He couldn't control it perfectly. If that was the case, he would have to change methods. He used even more years from his lifespan to create a blue mana in his hands. And our protagonist recognized that as the man of the monster and demon's uses. So he asked, aren't you afraid to go berserk with the use of that power? But the guy shouted that it was for the young master and for the Lin family glory. A lightning lit up the dark night and gradually started to rain. But in the middle of the air those droplets of water were transformed into water blades that went straight to Chifeng. His body was partially frozen so he couldn't dodge and had to take the attack head-on. The impact created a massive explosion and the enemy was confident that he was about to win. He poured a second sequence of blasts that froze the entire place. Upon seeing that, he fell to his knees, feeling relief that it was finally over. But he intuitively knew that his life was also coming to an end. But a step was heard, and when he lifted his head up he was confused. Bai Chifeng was fine and standing in front of him. He asked how was that possible. Our protagonist told him that it was quite incredible that he was able to reduce his HP to this extent. Over then 800,000 was taken. But at the same time for his 10 billion it wasn't that much, and he said, now it's my turn, right? The guy still couldn't believe that was impossible. Chifeng's hands covered his face and strangely he felt a sense of ease and said, just kill me cause I won't be able to live long anyway. My long-cherished wish to sacrifice myself for the Lin family is going to be complete. The Demon King told him, even if I don't do anything you would die. That's the price of the after effects of using the forbidden technique. The guy said that he knew, so he begged for him to make it quickly. But he soon realized that he was being healed and couldn't understand. For the protagonist, killing this guy would only make things more complicated. But for that guy the way he interpreted that was completely different. For him, the legendary Bai Qingfeng was showing mercy in an extent that he had never imagined. The most pure, selfless. He just tried to kill the guy, but here he is saving his life. To avoid suspicions, the Demon King told him that he was moved by his pure loyalty for the Lin family, and that's why he was saving him. Even more because he knew that behind a tree Leia was observing everything. She also came to the same conclusion. Bai Qingfeng is the most kind and gentle being that she had ever met. It was the first time she saw someone so strong yet so upright. Qingfeng gave him a hand to help him get up, saying that if he was afraid of not being able to explain to his master what happened, he could pretend to be injured. That was something that the guy never imagined that he would hear, so he instantly asked how he could repay such kindness. Without an answer, the guy left, and now our protagonist just had to deal with Leia. He pictured that from her point of view he was appearing way too strong, so he fell to his knees with his hands over his chest, agonizing in